Casual here. With more details on the big update coming this week, now is the perfect time to grind out those last few pieces of legendary gear sets. But which ones should you be grinding for? Well, in this video I'm going to rank every gear set and also flag the top tier 3 mods that you should be trying to get. Let's get into it. Let's start with the Borealis Monarch gear set, which for me is a simple one as it is one of the best gear sets in the game. The gear set bonus is incredibly strong for firepower builds and makes ultimate freezing bullets a viable option over Dark Sacrifice or Killing Spree. It comes with some excellent tier 3 mods, Shatter, Sharp Eye, and the ultimate nuke, Icicle Storm. The only downside to this gear set is the stats, where close range damage would have been preferable to status power or cooldown reduction, but when you hit this hard, who cares? The Grim Inventor gear set is a very cool looking gear set but with a very poor bonus. Perfect stats for an anomaly power build can't compensate enough for this, and so the set for me is a poor C. The one mod I would look out for is Rocket Man. The rest range from average to poor. Not impressed? No, I'm not. The Torrential Downpour has a great gear set bonus, perfect anomaly power stats and 2 great tier 3 mods in Trap Cluster and Quartermaster. Quartermaster is particularly useful for Tool of Destruction builds as it refills the ammo for the minigun, making it viable against the toughest elites. Unfortunately though, the other tier 3 mods are not good, and overall the damage output of the gear set is good but not top tier. A strong A for me. The Plague Sower gear set just sucks. The gear set bonus is ineffective compared to even tier 2 mods like Damage Absorber. The stats on the gear range from average to awful. Long range damage rather than close range would be a big improvement. And apart from the excellent Euthanizer tier 3 mod on the gloves, there is nothing really to grind for here. A disappointing D for me. The Reforged gear set is very average. Its gear set bonus is okay, buffing Thermal Bomb is great, but Feed the Flames is a utility skill, not a damage dealing one. Reducing its cooldown save would have been much better, and I also don't understand why an Anomaly Power gear set has long range damage on it, but the other stats are fine. There are a couple of good mods to grind for. 2 Thermal Bombs is never a bad thing given the AoE damage the skill does, while Unstoppable Force is a top tier mod for many builds including the Glitch Dash Blast Overheat build. Overall I'm going to put this into the B tier. The Acari gear set is the crown jewel of the Pyromancer's gear sets. Its gear set bonus can buff your anomaly power to ridiculous levels. It has 3 excellent mods in Fire Tsunami, Master Consumer and Detonator. Its stats are good. I do prefer cooldown reduction over status power, but with 3 pieces carrying that, this can be worked around. This is an S tier gear set, if ever there was one. Now while the Acari gear set is a jewel, the Torturer's gear set is a polished turd. Its gear set bonus just doesn't work. It has 1 great tier 3 mod in Death Sentence, but this mod actually works better with the Ash Blast Overheat builds using the Acari gear set. The rest of its mods are average to very lackluster. Its stats are okay I guess. Close range damage is good, but there is way too much healing received for my liking. Give me some cooldown reduction so I can at least hit my skills more. But the nail in the coffin for all Pyromancer firepower builds is the lack of a reliable ammo replenishment mod for volcanic rounds. These builds were great when the Perpetuum mobile bug existed. Without it, you lose too much damage, slotting multiple utility mods to ensure the volcanic round stays up for long enough. A tier 3 mod on the gear set to solve this would have been a game changer. In my opinion, not the worst gear set in the game, but damn close to it. A D is possibly generous. The Lava Leech gear set feels like another mediocre one. Its bonus is okay, but is buffing a skill Eruption that just doesn't do enough damage. If instead it had buffed Phaser Beam, it could be a top tier one. It has 1 good tier 3 mod in Ashen Champion, potentially giving you a 100% buff to anomaly power, but its other tier 3 mods are just awful. Its stats are pretty good, status power does buff the damage of Phaser Beam, so having that on every piece is great. It would just be nice to also have cooldown reduction as well. Overall, I'm going to put this at a C grade. The Statue gear set is oh so close to being really good. A 100% weapon damage bonus is one of the best out there, and the buff to your allies is an enormous bonus. The challenge is that Devastators don't have a round space skill, and so they can't put out the sort of weapon damage that, say, a Technomancer can. The tier 3 mods are very average and more suited to a support role, which in the current game is not great. Power of the Stones and Golden Squad are worth picking up in case we get new non-time based game modes, but not for the current game. The stats on the gear are a combination of awful and pretty good. Close range damage is what we are looking for, but skill life leech is not, as most of our damage will be coming from our weapon, not skills. Cooldown reduction is useful on the boots and the gloves. Overall, I think the gear set deserves a B grade, mainly because of the top tier gear set bonus. If support roles become more important in the game, then I would consider pushing this up to an A grade. I hate Boulder Dash. Not the game, the skill, and I'm trying not to let that colour my opinion of the Deathproof gear set. The gear set bonus is great if you want to use Boulder Dash more. The tier 3 mods are average at best though, and poor in some cases. Nothing I would grind for certainly. The stats are okay, but too much healing received really for a class as tanky as the Devastator. Overall, I'm going to put this as a C grade. Okay, a B grade. Because I'm sure someone out there really likes Boulder Dash. I mean, someone has to. The bonus on the Martial gear set kind of sucks. It just doesn't do enough damage to be worth it. The thing to look out for is the tier 3 mod Despair on the footgear, which is a great mod for anomaly builds. The rest are pretty forgettable. The stats on the gear set are perfect with anomaly power, cooldown reduction and skill life leech, but it just isn't enough to pull this gear set up above anything other than a C grade. The final Devastator gear set is the Seismic Commander, which is a top tier gear set. 50% additional damage from any source is a great buff. Tainted Blood is a tier 3 mod everyone should have, and any mods that allow you to activate your skill 2 times more are worth picking up. Even the other 2 tier 3 mods are okay. The stats on the gear are pretty good. I would have liked a little more cooldown reduction, but status power which buffs speed damage is not awful. Overall, this is the gear set that Devastators should be looking for, which annoys the hell out of me, as after over 1000 hours of playtime, I still don't have the helmet. I think that the Trickster is some of the best gear sets in the game. The Chrono Suit has an incredible utility bonus that works so well with borrowed time. Anyone who thinks that this bonus and skill don't provide you with incredible flexibility really hasn't played it enough. It is top tier. The mod to look out for is Ammo Bargain, which is an essential mod on any Trickster firepower build. The rest of the mods are a little mediocre though. I have seen people wax lyrical about aggressive teleportation, but personally I think its damage output is a little underwhelming when you can hit for over 1 million of damage each shot with the Death Shield. Stats are pretty solid, and overall I think that this is a strong A tier gear set. I could say pretty much exactly the same things about the Acari's gear set, even if I can't pronounce the name correctly. Its gear set bonus is great and synergizes incredibly well with the tier 3 mod Instant Reload, which you should absolutely pick up. The rest of its mods are mediocre to poor though, but its stats are pretty solid. Overall an A tier gear set, which I wouldn't rate quite as highly as the Chrono Suit, but it is certainly a good one. The one Trickster gear set that I don't rate currently is Trespassers, mainly because Slow Trap is not a good skill for the current endgame, and so the bonus is useless. The gear set does have 2 great mods to grind for, Pain Transfer and Stare into the Barrel. The rest though are very forgettable. Stats are excellent with bonus firepower, close range damage and cooldown reduction, but even that is not enough to offset the gear set bonus. C rating on this one. Let's leave things on a high note with the Edge of Time gear set. The gear set bonus gives a great damage buff to 2 of your key skills. Temporal Armor is the only survivability mod you will need. The stats are perfect for an anomaly build with anomaly power, cooldown reduction and skills life leech. No hesitation for me, this is an S tier gear set, and if you haven't tried out the Trickster anomaly build, you're missing out. But wait, there is one legendary gear set that I haven't mentioned, the Cannonball gear set. Well, you will have to watch my video on this to find out more. Let me know in the comments if you agree with these ratings. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button so that the YouTube algorithm knows you want to see future content from me. Until next time, Casual out.